Sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is let go of what once defined them, not with grand gestures, but in the quiet choice to begin again. After heartbreak, betrayal, and long nights soaked in silent tears, Too Deep stood at the edge of a new chapter. She had been to the depths of pain and come back breathing. But this time, she didn't return alone. With her hand in CEO James's and her heart steadied by hope, she stepped into the unknown, not as a woman who had survived her past, but as one who was finally ready to live beyond it. The small wooden house James built wasn't merely 4 walls and a roof, it was a vow. A vow of love without condition, mornings filled with laughter, and nights where peace wouldn't be a stranger. It was a promise whispered in wood and earth that healing was not only possible, but hers. As Too Deep stood before her future, the question wasn't whether she could survive anymore. It was whether she was ready to let joy in. Where hope begins. The wind rustled through the tall grass, sunlight soaking the fields in golden warmth. Too Deep looked out over the land James had purchased quietly, just for her. It wasn't grand or flashy, but it was everything. It was peace, a fragile, unfamiliar peace she hadn't felt in years. Days ago, she had still been haunted by the shadows of her past. The loss of her parents. The echo of abandonment. The weight of grief so heavy she had forgotten what it was like to breathe freely. But James had stayed, not as a CEO or someone who could fix things, but as a man who simply refused to give up. He had held her hand through fever, whispered hope when she couldn't respond, fought back tears in silence when she looked lifeless in a hospital bed. And when she finally opened her eyes, he had smiled as if he'd been handed the entire world back in that moment. "You don't have to apologize for hurting," he told her. "Just promise me you'll try to live, try to build something with me." Building more than a house. That promise became real in the land beneath their feet. Far from the chaos of the city yet close enough to feel connected, their property was a quiet sanctuary. James had thought of everything: a small home at the center, a fruit garden of guavas, pineapples, pomelos, and a serene pond to raise fish. "This is your place now." "Our place," he said, his voice low and full of care. That afternoon, they sat watching workers pour sand for the foundation. The sky glowed gold as Too Deep turned to him, trembling but firm. "I'm ready. I want to stop wondering why my parents left. I want to stop holding pain so tightly. I want to live with you." James reached for her hand. "Then let's build something beautiful together. From soil to stars." Construction began the next week. Each morning, Two Deep brought tea to the site, the scent of wet grass mingling with fresh cement becoming oddly comforting. James arrived early, sleeves rolled up, lifting wood, reviewing plans, not a CEO commanding, but a partner contributing. At lunch, they sat beneath an old tree, sharing simple meals and soft laughter. And little by little, her smile returned, not the practiced kind, but real, warm, and unguarded. One afternoon, James led her to a small wooden bench he'd built for her. "That's where your guava tree will grow. And over there, your herbs, your flowers." Two Deep could already see it in her mind. "It's hard to believe this is real," she whispered. "It is," James replied, "and it's yours." That night, as stars began to bloom in the sky, she lay outside and stared upward. The ache of old memories still stirred sometimes, but they no longer controlled her. They were simply echoes now, fading into the background of something better, gifts of love and belonging. One evening, James surprised her with a small box. Inside, a simple silver necklace with a pendant shaped like a house. "For the home we're building," he said softly. "And everything it will hold." Two Deep sighs welled, but not from sadness. These were tears of recognition, of love that had waited quietly and never demanded anything in return. "You were never lost," James whispered, pressing his forehead to hers. "Just waiting to come home." Weeks passed. The roof was laid, the floors polished, furniture brought in piece by piece. She picked out the curtains, planted her first guava tree, chose vases and bowls filled with fresh flowers. And when the house was done, James placed the key in her hand. "Ready?" he asked. She smiled. "I was born ready." Nights without fear. That first night in the house, everything was still. Sacred. Two Deep curled up beside James, her head on his shoulder, listening to the breeze through the trees. "I can't sleep," she whispered. "Why? I think I'm afraid it will all disappear." James took her hand. "It's real, Deep. Every nail in this house, every word we said, it's all real." "You're here. We're here. And no one can take that away." She didn't wipe the tear that slid down her cheek. For once, she let it fall freely. "I used to think love always left. That good things were never meant for me." "And now?" he asked. She looked into his eyes. "Now, I think maybe love stays, the life they're growing." In the days that followed, Two Deep bloomed. She watered guava trees in the morning. Baked simple meals in the afternoon. Listened to cicadas at dusk from the front porch. One day by the pond, she saw two dragonflies dancing in the air. Her mother's voice echoed from long ago, "When dragonflies fly together, it means love is near." Too Deep whispered into the breeze, "I'm okay now, Mom." Later that night, James wrapped his arms around her by the water. "I feel free," she whispered. Then, turning to him, she asked softly, "What if we filled this house with more than memories?" James blinked. "What do you mean?" "I mean, a family." His eyes welled. "I've wanted that too." "I just didn't know if you were ready. I am now. Not just for me. For us. The gentle power of choosing love." That night, under the stars, their dreams didn't feel like dreams anymore. The ghosts of her past were fading, and in their place, laughter, light, and the quiet promise of forever. Too Deep had once lived as if joy was for others. As if love was temporary. But James didn't fix her, he stayed. Through silence. Through storms. He was her witness, her shelter. From their story, we learn, healing isn't loud. It doesn't arrive all at once. It is slow, still, but always possible. Letting go of the past doesn't mean forgetting, it means deciding your future deserves more than your wounds. It means daring to believe that joy is something you can build, even from broken pieces.